Hi, how are you? Good. What's the famous in the clinical social network? What brings you in here today?
Well, I don't know. My roommate brought me in here.
What do you think she brought you in here?
Well, I think she's probably pretty concerned.
What do you think she's concerned about?
Um, well, I'm just kind of nervous, and um, she's really concerned about me, so I agreed to come here. But I'm not really sure what I'm doing here.
Okay, so you're a bit nervous? What are you doing? What do you feel nervous?
Well, I've been trying to call a bunch of people because I'm trying to solve this crisis with the student loans. There's a crisis and we need to solve that problem. And so I've been calling lots of senators to solve the problem. And I haven't really been sleeping
For how long?
for about 4 days.
Okay, let's see that. Will you be willing to talk to somebody else that will help you?
So somebody that's going to help me get my problem solved with calling senators?
Well, you can ask him. You can ask him if he could.
If you can help me make some phone calls?
You can help feel better, for sure, and he can help you. You can ask him to see if he can do that.
Yeah.
Are you willing to talk to him?
Yeah, I'm willing. I'll talk to him. I'll see if they'll help me with calling.
Okay. And have you been taking medications lately?
No, I don't take any medication.
Have you been using other type of drugs or anything or other type of anything or alcohol?
No, I don't drink. I don't use anything.
So you've been, from what I hear you're saying that you haven't been sleeping for 4 days and just calling the senators.
Yes.
Okay. And no medication.
No medication.
Okay. So I'll call the person in and to see if he can help you out. Okay. And you can ask him all those questions.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hi. How are you?
I'm better than the last time we saw you.
Yeah, I see you way better. Again, I am Tatiana Salinas. I'm the clinical social worker, and I'm here with you this time to see that we can work together.
We're gonna work together.
Yes.
Okay.
First of all, I want you to tell me why you are here.
Well, when I saw you last time, I was kind of in a crisis, and so they gave me some medicine, and I'm feeling a little bit better. So I came back this week as you asked me to.
I'm glad to hear that and see you better. Okay, is that okay with you if we start before we see and we talk about what we're gonna do? I'm gonna ask you some questions that will help us to know a little bit more what's going on to come up with a plan so we can work together. Does it sound good to you?
Yeah, but who else is gonna have all this information?
Well, it will be just you and I, unless you want somebody else to know it.
So nobody else is gonna get the information?
Nobody else will.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep. Sounds good.
All right. So, as you said, it brings you today because you had a crisis the last time I saw you.
Yeah, I was in the crisis unit.
And can you tell me a little bit more why you were there?
Well, I hadn't been sleeping for 4 days, and I was trying to get some work done, and I wasn't able to do that. And then my roommate brought me to the crisis center where I met you.
Yeah. Oh, now I remember. Yes, I do remember that. And for how long have you experienced that? Only for those days? Have you experienced that in the past?
In the past, I've had something similar, but it was like over a year ago.
Over a year ago?
Yeah.
It was only one time in the past?
Yeah, just once in the past I had that where I stayed up for a lot of days. I was working on a project. I was trying to get it done.
Okay. So you said that you were trying to get your work done. Were you able to do your work?
Well,
Or you couldn't do it?
I couldn't do it. My mind was racing.
What do you mean by racing? What were you doing?
Well, I would run around. I would call a bunch of people trying to solve the student loan crisis.
Okay, so that was the last time that happened to you last year or this year?
This year.
This
Just a
year.
few days ago when I saw you last week.
Okay. And what about last year? What were
Last
you doing?
year, I had something else where I was trying to start a student organization at the university.
Okay.
The one that I was before this one.
And what were you doing to start the organization?
Well, I was trying to get a bunch of people together in order to start an organization that would be for the students.
Okay. But how long did it take you to do? What were you doing during the day to do that?
Well, talking to everybody I could, anybody that would listen to me, of course.
How long will that take you to talk to them a day? You think about a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
What
Most
was
of the day.
Most.
Yeah, and all the night.
And all night too.
Yeah.
For how long was it?
For like almost a week.
Almost a week.
Yeah.
What happened after that?
Well, then I got tired.
And what did you do when you got tired?
Well, then I just had no energy because I was wore out.
Mm-hmm. So after being wore out, what else did you do? Did you just go back to sleep? And then
Slept a lot.
A lot?
Yeah, I didn't have any more energy.
And then you went back to school after you slept for a while?
Yeah, I went back to school, but I was still had low energy.
Alright, you had low energy, but then you were able to catch up by sleeping only.
Yeah, I was sleeping.
And then you went back to your school
Mm-hmm.
to do your homework or do you keep up with your assignment?
Yeah.
And attend school.
Mm-hmm.
Did you miss school while you were
Sleeping, yes.
sleeping? But were you able to catch up with your assignments and grades?
I did.
Okay. I see that. And what else was there any other symptoms, physical symptoms that you had while that happened to you?
The last time or just last week?
The last time?
Yeah. Well, when I'm so busy, I don't really eat or drink very much.
What is the length of time that you usually don't eat?
For about a week.
A week?
Yeah.
And you drink not that much?
Right.
So the same happened if you think about last year. Can you relate with the last week? Is it similar? Different? Tell me what is similar and tell me what is similar.
Well, it lasts about the same amount of time. And because I'm very busy, I'm not eating and I'm not drinking and I'm not sleeping. And so that was similar to my situation at the university.
Alright. So, and the last year was a week and this year was 4 days. 4 days.
Yeah.
So 4 days because your roommate brought you in or 4 days because
4 days I was tired.
you were tired?
Yeah.
Okay. But did you feel any other type of symptoms, physical symptoms, like after you went and slept for a while? Did you feel sad? Did you feel that you didn't want to do anything?
Well, the biggest thing was I just had no energy, no matter what. I didn't really care about anything because all I wanted to do was sleep.
Okay. But after sleeping, for how long was you sleeping?
I have no idea. Like, how many days?
Yes, how many days were you sleeping?
Well,
many
maybe
hours
like
a day?
3 days I didn't go to school.
Okay, for 3 days. But after those 3 days, were you able to go back to
Yes.
school? Were you able to sleep
Yes.
at regular hours?
I think so. But this is not the first time that I've had a very long period of time with no energy.
So I see from what I understand is that you're talking about energy, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel, what about your feelings? How do you feel? Do you feel a little bit down, sad, or there's no interference in your feelings?
No, I feel hopeless. I couldn't solve the problem.
Okay. So you were concerned about the problems, and that's why you felt happy.
Yes. So I'm just sleeping.
How long did it take you to feel that you felt hopeless? Like we're talking about last year.
For a couple weeks, that happened.
And then you went back to normal?
Well, I still had low energy, but yeah, I was able to go back to work and school and things like that.
Now, from last year, we're going to focus on this year.
Okay.
Now, when you say those 4 days that you were not sleeping, how do you feel after you calmed down? When you say that you felt worn out, that's what you told me. How did you feel this time?
From last week till now?
Yes.
Well, I made it here today, and so I have more energy now, but I'm on medicine now.
What are you taking now?
Lithium.
And again, talking about your feelings, how do you feel now? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel a little bit of that you're sleeping too much?
I'm sad still because I didn't solve my problem.
I see that you're very concerned about the problem.
Yeah, because I didn't solve it. I stayed for 4 days working on that, and I didn't solve it. So I feel pretty hopeless again about that.
So I see that you're very concentrated in the problem. Am I right?
Well, I'm concentrating on the solution because I didn't solve the problem, and that makes me hopeless.
Okay. Any other type of feelings that you might be experiencing right now? Are you able to sleep?
The medicine helps.
I hear what you're saying. And have you been in treatment in mental health treatment or counseling before?
No, I don't have. I've never been to counseling until my roommate brought me.
Okay. Is there any other family history with any type of mental health problem that you know of?
I'm not close with my family, so no, I don't know of any. But maybe there is. I'm not aware.
And have you ever been brought to the hospital in addition to last year? Have you ever been brought to the hospital because of any mental health or any problems that you've had?
Like medical problems?
Like medical problems or any other type of mental health problem?
No, I never was hospitalized before.
Okay, that's good. So now you mentioned that you're taking lithium, right?
Yeah, that guy that you had me see last time I was here gave me some medicine.
Is that all you are taking right now? Lithium?
Yes.
All right. Now that you were talking about health, is there any other medical history that you have?
No, I have no problem.
No
problems.
No.
No.
Okay. Are you pregnant now?
No.
Any allergies or to food or medication that you know of?
No, because I don't know of any right now. But like I said, I don't have much of a medical history.
I see. And do you smoke?
No smoking.
And you do any type of do you use any drugs or alcohol for some reason, social or entertainment?
No, I don't use any drugs or alcohol.
Do you have anybody in your family that have used, that you know of?
What?
That have abused drugs or alcohol?
Yeah, my siblings, they both drink and, but no drugs.
No drugs, that you know of?
No.
Okay. Now, talking about your siblings, tell me a little bit more about your family. Do they live with you?
No. I moved recently to this school. The university.
And where are you coming from?
Out of state.
Yeah. So, do you live with out of the state, you have your parents?
I have one parent, a mom, and two siblings. Yeah.
What are their ages? Your siblings' ages?
23 and 24.
Okay. Do you have a good relationship with your family?
Not really. I mean, we talk to each other, but only, on holidays and not really close.
Okay. However, you mentioned that your roommate mentioned that you're not returning your phone calls to your family when that happened. Have you been in contact with them since then?
No, because I still have this feeling of hopelessness, and I just have nothing to say.
Okay. I see that. Do you have any other significant relationship, like friendship, around here or out of the state where you come from?
Well, my roommate's my good friend.
Okay, that's good. Somebody around. Do you have anybody else around? Some other friends?
Not here, no.
Any other friends at a distance that you talk to them often? Do you have?
No, I don't. I'm not very good at relationships.
Okay. So have you had any significant problems with your family in the past?
Well, my parents were divorced when I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've lived with my mom since then until I moved away to college. So.
Mm-hmm. So how was the relationship with your mom?
Difficult.
What do you mean by difficult?
Well, she's consumed with her own life after she got divorced, and she just decided to do whatever, and then the kids were left to do whatever they were going to do. So, it was not very caring.
I hear you. So, then you talk about, well, that you don't have friends over there and no friends here, only your roommate. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And the relationship with your mom, even at a long distance, are you able to communicate at least from time to time to tell her how you're doing?
Yeah, sometimes I talk to her. I have no problem making phone calls when I'm feeling okay, but I am just really upset because I didn't get my problem solved. So I have nothing to say right now.
So you're gonna wait until your problem is solved to call her?
Well, until I have more energy. I have no energy. I mean, you're lucky I made it here today.
I hear you. And tell me a little bit, what do you do for fun? What do you do to, like a hobby, or stress, or an activity that you may like?
Something I like?
Yes.
Well, I like to call the senators, and I like to help people get answers to questions.
But is it fun for you, or is something that you worry about?
Something I worry about.
I'm talking about any other activity that will help you feel better. For instance, any activity that you may like.
Well,
Running,
I like
walking.
to run.
Okay.
That's something I really like to do.
That's good. All right. Any other type of activity that you like? Like watching TV or watching movies, any other things you like?
I like to take pictures.
Nice. Okay. And what about, tell me about it, what do you go to school for?
I want to be a teacher.
Teacher. Any specific subject that you'll be interested in teaching?
No, just education.
Are you your freshman year? What year are you in?
My 3rd year.
Your third year.
Yeah, because I went to school for 2 years at home. And now I just moved here to go to school again.
And why did you move down here?
Because I finished my associate's degree, so now I'm working on my bachelor's degree. I just couldn't make any friends at home, so I wanted to try something else.
So you, from what I understand, is that you came all the way here to try a different environment.
Yeah, nothing at home, not really close with my siblings. My mom is doing her own thing, and So I decided I would come and do something else in a different town, in a different state.
Now, tell me a little bit more about your school experience. How do you take your day a day in school? What is a day in your life?
Well, I wake up and go to class because class is early. And then I will come home and I'll have some lunch and then go back to class for the rest of the afternoon. And then sometimes I go running and then I may not eat anything, but I'll go back to sleep because I have no energy.
Is that pretty much how you handle most of the time your routine?
Yes.
So when are the days that you feel like running? And when are the days that you feel like you have no energy?
Well, when I have problems to solve, then I just keep going. I work really hard to solve the problems. And then, if I can't get the problem solved, then I just kind of lose all my energy. And it stays in that pattern.
Okay. And I hear you talking about the problem.
Yeah.
How often do you come up with this problem?
Well, it's only happened once before where I just had this problem that I had to solve. And that's the time I told you from before.
Last year. If you're not thinking about the problem, what other things are you thinking about?
Well, not a whole lot.
What about school?
Well, school is just what everybody else thinks I should do.
But what do you think you should do?
Solve the problems, of course.
Solve the problems. But where do problems come from? Who told you that you have to solve those problems?
Well, nobody tells me. I just have these ideas and I want to solve them.
Where do you get those ideas from?
When I'm not sleeping.
So from what I understand is the ideas come those days or that period of time when you do not sleep.
Yes. Right? Yes.
Okay. So I hear you say that the ideas come from when you're not sleeping and the ideas last a while until you actually are worn out. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you working right now?
No, I'm not working.
So just what school?
I don't have energy to go to
work. Okay. So what type of income do you have right now? How do you get by with money?
Sometimes I help clean houses when I have energy.
Okay.
My roommate has some friends and she asked me to help her.
Does it meet your basic needs?
Yeah.
Everything that you need? Okay. What about school refunds? Do you usually use them?
Yeah, my school loans.
Do you have a car?
No, my roommate takes me. Okay. I don't need a car. I live on campus.
Do you need, so far you are saying that your needs are basic needs for food, housing, that you have in campus, no car, but you have somebody that takes you when you need it. You usually don't.
Or I can go the bus or
take the bus. Is there any other type of assistance or help that you would like to get, or you feel pretty comfortable with the money that you make and the things that you have?
I'm pretty comfortable.
Okay. All right. Then, with all the information we've talked today, we'll be able to put it together and to start with a treatment plan, with the goals, with the things that you would like to do, so we can start working on from next week. Does it sound good to you?
Okay.
All right. So, when is a good day for you to meet next week?
On Thursday.
Thursday. What time?
Anytime in the morning.
Okay. So keep up with your medicines, and then we'll see you next week. Give me a call if something happens, but I'll be here waiting for you.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too.
The client that was presented was a client, a 22-year-old female that came into my unit brought by a roommate due to her manic episode. At that moment, when I intervened her and I briefly assessed her, I could notice that I could not do anything therapeutical, any therapeutical approach because she was completely unbalanced. 4 days after for not sleeping and going into her depressive episode. So I referred her to the psychiatrist that was able to evaluate her and diagnose her with bipolar disorder. And I agree with that disorder because first, the way I see it is that I rule out any type of psychotic disorder that she may have because all her problems that she mentions are concrete, so they are not based on hallucinations or any type of delusional problems that they may have, as well as depressive disorders because of high energetic episode that she referred. She referred having one last time where it's very clear that we may have been triggered, not only because of her young age, but her moving out of her house and starting school. This is when she showed the first episode that lasted a week, which actually confirmed the first criteria, which is a manic episode. And then she does have, at this time, have a hypomanic episode that lasted 4 days, so she wouldn't sleep day and night, super high energetic. And she came actually to the crisis unit when she was in the middle, going downhill. Now, for this type of disorder, which is the bipolar 1, no bipolar 2, because bipolar 2, it is a little more, less severe than the one. We have a hypomanic and the depressive disorder, and she does have the manic, hypomanic, and the depressive disorder. And she's currently taking lithium, as she mentioned, but which is actually the medication is the foundation to stabilize the symptoms. Once the patient is able to take this medication, this is when we can start approaching with therapy. The therapy that will consist only in CBT, cognitive behavior approach, because this disorder is basically not going to be solved with therapy. It's only for her to learn about it, to learn to manage it, to build coping skills, and so she can actually move on and do and function properly. And now, what will be the treatment plan will focus mainly on her, as I mentioned before, is the acceptance on the dependence on the medication. When she gets off the medication, will be an imbalance again, so she will have to learn that will keep her as well as other habits we will have to develop, like coping skills habits, things that for her to learn to distress, and for her to learn the significance of her stress and how it can impact on her disorder as well. And for her as well to learn the difference and distinguish her personality, who she is, and the disorder, to make her understand that all what she does is not because it's her, it's the disorder, it's like an illness that she has, so she can learn to recognize that difference. Then establish certain habits like healthy relationship with her family, that she's not returning phone calls, probably make some other friends, socialize a little bit better with friends and family. And another important way that an important point I will touch with her as well will be a relapse prevention plan. In this, for this disorder, it is very common that they will may relapse in the future, so they will take into consideration things like, for instance, identify warning signs when that it triggers the behavior. Consider a separated lists of mania and depression, so she knows where her bipolarism comes from and she can learn to distinguish it and identify it. As I mentioned before as well, always come up with healthy activities that she can do it, monitor frequently, and that she could adjust and according to her needs, certain activities as well as her follow-up in treatment. And one important thing that she should be considering during this plan of relapse plan is to keep in mind who is around her that will help her when she has a crisis, when she learns to identify what are the triggers of her disorder, so that person can help her. Could be a family member over the phone, or could be, it all depends how she presented, how she wanted to do it.